Wonders they say shall never end. Couples discover they are siblings after 10 years of marriage and 2 kids. My name, Olukunle Abraham, and of course, this is Serious Matters on ONIF TV. We this one is not funny, and we would look at it from different perspectives. But before we do that, let's watch and see this video that we came across online. And here, look at them closely, and then you yourself should. We are supposed to learn from all this. As parents, we are also supposed to learn, because we will all have to be blamed in the cause of it all. Yes, and that's why I'm bringing it out on Serious Matters, so that we would all have a say. And so, let's see this video. And who are you going to blame? Who are you going to blame? Because one might be quick to judge and say, well, maybe because of this, that, they did this, they did that. We're going to see for ourselves. We're going to watch together. And then we would see how it will. Let's listen to them.
2008. We got married in 2011. We had our first child in 2011. We had our second child in 2015. We've been married for 10 years. We've been together for 13 years. We just recently found out we're brothers and sisters.
Okay, well, you heard the two of them. You heard the husband, talk. Let's start from this angle. We live in a generation where young ones just want to do what they like. When the Bible categorically states that we should not remove ancient landmarks, we tend to see our parents as old schools. And so we say we have our own decisions to make. Gone are those days when people want to get married. Our parents were going to get married. The man will not go meet the woman. In our churches today, especially, for instance, in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, the man is not supposed to go and meet the lady. He is supposed to talk to his pastor about it. Then spiritually they go around it, and then, somehow, you understand what I'm talking about. And so it was in those days. The man will not go. And so when he shows his intentions, they go to see the parents. And you see, I haven't seen the parents. There will be underground checks. There will be underground checks. Checks such as, they could be as weird as knowing what type of sicknesses they have in their family. The family I'm marrying from, what type of sicknesses do they have there? What type of sicknesses do they have there? What are the things that what is the pedigree of that family? Are they prosperous? Do they do well? Is there madness or insanity in their lineage? Do they beat wives? They do underground checks before they now launch out to now go do an introduction, and then you now move on to getting married. But today, you just find two people find themselves and, they just get themselves pregnant. Some people even live with women they didn't pay their dowries, and they are comfortable. I've attended weddings where, no family member was around. Everybody that came were people, neighbors and friends and all that. No family member, no parents, and yet they get married. How do you explain that? The young ones have their faults. How would you be living with somebody without finding out where they are from, who this person is? This couple took to TikTok, like you saw in the video, to reveal that they discovered they are brothers and sisters after being married for 10 years. 10 good years. 10 years. 36,600. That's 36,500 days rather. They've been together. They've been married for 10 years. They've been together for 10 years. They've known each other for 13 years. That means they were courting for about 3 years. And nobody knew anything. Nobody did any underground check. You didn't find out who the parents were. Nothing was done. And so 10 years gone, they now have 2 kids. And so in this short video, you find the man who said they have been together for 13 years, which includes 3 years courtship. They said that recently made the discovery. He also disclosed that their union produced two kids, like I said earlier on. Or like you saw in the video, he said though there were little details on how they made the discovery, social media users pointed out that there was a striking physical resemblance between the two couples. Did you check that? Let's see together. Did you notice this resemblance between the two? Did you check them properly? Look at them properly. Now let's not sit on this. Let's not sit on this, because even when couples live together, after some time they begin to resemble themselves. Yes, is that your sister? Oh, is that your brother? They begin to resemble themselves. So we cannot sit on this. But when you look at the two, the resemblance is there. Are these guys just trying to make a name? Are they just trying to, become popular by just coming up with a weird video, as it were? Or something. A lot of things come to mind. When you look at them, there is this striking resemblance between the two of them. They look alike. And so the faults, I'm not going to be laying blames, but then fingers will have to be pointed in the direction of these young chaps, and also pointed in the direction of the parents. Or should we leave room for situations such as our parents are late? I grew up in the orphanage. I'm just leaving room for that. They grew up in the orphanage. We're just allowing such things to happen. But let's take home certain lessons. That young guy, if you're getting married to anybody, find out, make proper check. Do a proper check. Where are you rushing to? You are in a hurry to have sex? You are in a hurry to have children? You're going to have more than enough of that. And so you need to understand that marriage goes beyond just having sex. Marriage goes beyond just having children. It's a beginning of a new dawn. In every marriage, God sees nations. Nations. You should check. And you know what? When you are being advised, you see, the elders have a saying where I come from, that in the foolish man's talk, or let me say in the madman's talk, you would find some outer of truth, wisdom that you can pick from it. You might not like me. You might not like my face. But you will definitely see something and pick something from what I'm saying. Young lady, who is the man, who is the guy you're going out with? All you know about him is his qualification, is where he lives, and that's all you know about him? Do you even know that people have gotten married to ghosts for years? They even had children. One happened recently in Ondo State. The woman had died for about a year or two, or about a year. I think about 2 years, going to 2 years. And so the young guy, the husband, the widower went to somewhere in the capital of Ondo State, there in Akure, and saw the lady inside a tricycle. Apparently, the person riding the tricycle was the husband to the lady. And so he couldn't hold it. And so he called her name. And the moment she heard her name and she looked, she disappeared. You say it's not true. You will know. These things are true. The spiritual world is more real than the physical. And that's why because the spiritual controls the physical. And so it's more real in the spiritual realm. You can be holding on to something. For instance, if you hold on to 1 million naira now, and just now, considering the economy of the country today, in a moment it's gone. The Bible says that wealth has the ability to grow wings and it will fly away. It will just vanish. It says, then Solomon said it is vanity upon vanity. When you're talking about physical things, he says it vanishes. It vanishes. So the word vanity comes out of the word vanish. It has the ability to vanish. Find out who is the lady. The tricycle rider fainted twice or 3 times. And then came to realize, what did you say happened? The lady, where is she? But she had disappeared. She had disappeared. She had disappeared. He couldn't just fathom it that he has been living with a ghost. And I hear that some people even go as far as having children. They will still disappear. Go to wherever they came from. And anyway, we're not talking about that today. That's not where we're going. We're going to come back to that someday. We'll talk about reincarnation and how real those things really are. Some persons say that, but King Saul called Samuel. No. We'll come back to that. I don't want us to digress. And so we've talked about the man. We talked about the lady. Find out. You can travel. Go as far as finding out. Check. You love him so much, but you still need to know his roots. You still need to know his source. You still need to know her source. Go and find out who she is. Find out. Even if she was raised in an orphanage. Even if you were raised in an orphanage. Find out. There will be writings about where you were picked up from. Go to where you were picked up from if possible. Make inquiries. And of course, the largest onus lies on us as parents. We seem to have left our words in the hands of civilization. We have left all of them in the hands of, it's a civilized world. I can't choose for her. Oh, come on. You can choose for her. Yes. That's why you are her parents. That's why you are mom. That's why you are her dad. As a father, let me tell you something. I don't want my daughter to make the mistakes that I made. I'm not talking about choosing her mom. Her mom is not a mistake. But the errors that I made in the process of trying to choose. And I wasted times before I met her mom. I don't want her to make those mistakes. So now I am teaching her. And so as parents, we've got to take it upon ourselves. You seem to, feel that send her to school, she'll finish primary school, she's done with secondary school, she's done with a university, she's now a graduate, I'm done. Some people go as far as, she gets married, I'm done. No, even after marriage, you should still be there to offer advice. You should still be there. You should still be there. I mean, if you do not want such a thing that has happened now to repeat itself in your family, tell your children histories, especially for those of you who have traveled abroad for a very long time. A lot of parents travel abroad, they send their children abroad, and you make them to forget home. Oh, forget about Nigeria. Forget about Nigeria. Oh, really? What about our children? What about your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren? Are you getting them to talk to them that same way? Will they not someday find their roots? And so you see that the onus lies on you as parents, on us as parents. We have a fault. If we have a fault, we have a part in the fault of these young ones. By not telling them. By not showing them their roots. Maybe if somebody has said that, oh, you are from so place. Maybe if somebody has said that you're actually from this part of this country. They would have drawn some senses from it. It's high time we begin to review. Some governments even took history out of the curriculum, the educational curriculum. What an error of all time. History, very important. It is a community, a society of eroded history that brings about such things. So for good 10 years, also for the first 3 years that they were going out, the 3 years that they were courting, they didn't go visit an uncle. They didn't go visit their parents. They didn't visit anybody. Don't be secretive. These are things that you cannot be secretive about it. And so they had the first child. Nobody came to do what our Igbos called omogo. Nobody, no mama came. Daddy didn't come. Your parents were not there during the naming ceremony. No relatives, no siblings. And so the first one came. The second one came again. And look at them. So young. They look very young. Very young. Young chaps. Look at them. Young. And I see some level of innocence in them. Are they really to be blamed? What's your opinion about this whole thing? Married for 10 years. They have known each other for 13 years. They have 2 kids. What's going to be the way forward now? Should they continue to live as husband and wife? Or should they divorce? What about the kids? I leave the rest to you. Let's look at it together. Of course, it is serious matters. And that's where we call it a wrap today. Couples discover they are siblings after 10 years of marriage and 2 kids. Please do drop your comments and your opinions regarding this. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.